Well, good afternoon, members of council, members of our management team. We do have a special guest in our chamber, Mr. Billy Hines. Thanks for being here, Mr. Hines. I'd like to welcome, we have 14 attendees that have joined us online. We also have members of our management team here today. Great day here in Stephenville, Newfoundland. It's 7 degrees, might hit 8. So I would ask a member of council that we call this meeting to order.
Move.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second.
Second.
Councilor Maurice Hines, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Item number 3, I would ask a member of council to move that we accept the agenda as circulated.
Move.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second by Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, item number 4, we have a couple of privilege meetings and public meeting minutes to approve. 4.1, be it resolved to approve our public meeting minutes of council dated October 24th, 2024. Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, second by Councilor Darren Roberts, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. I gotta say, council is very responsive on getting the first and second moves going today. I'm
We're
Roberts and unison.
hungry.
Oh, you're okay. 4.2.
You don't cheater.
Be it resolved to approve privileged meeting minutes dated October the 10th, 2024. I so move. Second? Second, Councilor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Item 4.3. Be it resolved to approve a privileged meeting of council dated November 7th, 2024. I so move.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, moving on to item number 5, matters arising from the minutes. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? No matters heard? Okay, we will move to item number 6, no proclamations or delegations today. I gotta say, at our meeting 2 weeks ago, I was very impressed with the proclamation that was put together for November Street. While I was reading it, it was one of the most passionate, I guess, that I've read in a long. It was well put together, so I commend Legion Command. I guess
Yes, that's right.
generic across the country.
That's right.
Right. Okay, item number 7, committee reports. I'm going to turn it over to our chair, Councilor Myra White. If you want to take it away, 7.1.
Thank you. Item number 1 is accounts payable. Be it resolved, pay accounts payable dated November the 7th, 2024 in the amount of $56,952.17. I so move.
Second.
By Councilor Myra White, second by Councilor Laura Elward.
I have,
Looking like your dress today, your pink.
Thank
Is it
you.
pink or fuchsia?
In between, I think.
In between, Susan, what do you think?
No, you're asking the wrong one.
Definitely don't ask me.
I gotta say, you're probably the best dress counselor at the council table today now.
Wow.
My opinion. I'm
I
just
wonder
saying.
what he's looking for now.
I say Councilor Topper second.
I wasn't sure there was a competition.
Chopped liver. That's why you've been asking for motions to spend money now.
okay, we're going to get back.
Okay. Sure, mine is good.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I got a few items that I want to put up from the agenda. So the Agatuna Drafting and Consulting $8,995.30. To Mr. Butt for mediation, $4,056.25. Boyd and Bungie for Class A delivery, $13,771.37. And the UAP, it's some of the supplies for the PW 33, $4,719.81. Western Paving asphalt patches, $7,889.
Okay, so we do have a mover and a seconder on the accounts payable. Any other questions? If not, I will call for the vote.
All in favor? Aye. Item number 2 is approval to issue a request for proposal.
The request, well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Item number 7.2, approval to award tender for 2024 paving. Be it resolved to award tender to complete paving projects on Queen Street and Georgia Drive to the lowest bidder, JCL Investments, Inc., in the amount of $383,924.97. HST is included. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. I just want to say I got to give some credit to our management team for sourcing the funding through our Community Sustainability Fund, which is a special fund that all municipalities receive. It's based on a formula of population. So this is money that we receive 100% funding for. And also to our engineering department that has overseen the awarding of tenders. And as we're speaking, Georgia has been completed. And while I drove here this morning, about 15 minutes ago, they're completing the section on Queen Street from Main Street to White's Avenue. So great to see, great work. It's, if we won't know to the citizens that are listening, anytime that we do water and sewer upgrades, it's in the multi-million-dollar projects. But even just to do a recap, this project is, was closing in on $500,000. So it's very, very costly. We're very fortunate in Stephenville because we have a sandy loam structure, a well-drained structure that actually our asphalt on our roads last probably longer than some other communities that have a lot of polluted water. And just saying, we're a little fortunate. So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 3 is the community grant program. Be it resolved to approve community grants for the following. I'm going to read out each one individual for approval. 3.1 Aqua Aces Swim Club, Inc., $758.97 to purchase equipment. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
shouldn't they all be,
Second.
shouldn't be all one motion?
No,
Well, they may,
we don't have to do each one.
Yeah.
they would have to, everybody has to.
It's not, the permits normally would be inclusive,
Okay,
but, or these are grants outside of our ordinary.
Yeah, because there could be one there that we want to discuss maybe. And
Yes.
yeah, second. Okay,
Okay, second, Deputy Mayor Stephen Palmer, question. Any comment? Okay, all in favor?
aye,
Fine.
Contramine?
Councilman.
We have one contramine, Jennifer? Okay,
And item 3.2, Addiction Recovery Drop-In Center, $5,000 for programming. I so move.
moved by Councilor Myra White, second by Councilor Laura
Second.
Aylward. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Carrying unanimous.
No question.
I maybe just that this is a one of a kind, and right now,
Yeah.
we really realize that we need it in Stephenville.
Yeah,
And the person who's running it, is well qualified, and he's doing that, for free. So
yeah,
there's-
yeah, it's a good, it's a really good service, yes, it
The
is.
value of human capital in it.
It certainly is.
Far more expensive than that.
That's right.
Okay, item number 3.3, Stephenville Theater Festival, $4,001.20 for community program. I so moved.
Moved by Councilor Michael White, second by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Contramine? Two contramine?
Yeah.
5 in support. Motion carried. Did you note the 2 contramine, Jennifer?
Item 3.4 is the Stephenville Shooting Club, Inc., $8,510.00 for upgrades to the existing range to expand services. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Maurice Hines.
question,
Yes, yeah.
can I, ask just what the upgrades are intended to do in terms of the expansion of services?
Do you want to go
Yeah,
ahead?
I can. Yes, well, right now, the way that the range is run, you can only have one group there at a time. Okay, and that's the long guns. Different organizations, the RCMP and wildlife and so on, different services are pistol qualified. So they can't use that while they're using it. And the idea is to have the long one that can be used, and at almost a 90-degree angle to it, it's a shorter range for pistol qualification.
Okay.
So it's building of what's called baffles and berms for safety measures. And it's a one-time, I think, over the last 30 years, there's been 2 major upgrades for safety done. It's not often to get them.
Yeah, and the certification is, for ranges is very, very strict, so.
Oh, absolutely, and yeah, no, I was just curious more than anything about what was happening.
Yeah.
They've put a lot of work into the range in the last few years.
Absolutely.
And the upgrades, that has been something to be proud of.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
used by recreational, by sustenance hunters, but it really supports our enforcement. I even believe C Company have used it in the past.
Yeah.
You know, our militia. And little history too, we did have one member of our shooting club who was a member of C Company, who was the only member of C Company to bring back a Canadian shield for marksmanship. I think that was your.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, the only person ever.
Yeah,
raised
sure.
the flag.
Jerry.
Yeah. And he was
And another one, Fabian Snow
afterwards.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was trained by Max Fromm.
Yeah.
And they both competed in the Canadian Nationals. So a lot of history there, right? Was a sports recognition here, Mr. Billy Hines? We talking about? the show? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Karen.
Item number 3.5, Zion Pentecostal Church, $8,000 to support changing heat source from oil fuel to electric for the annex portion of the building. The annex offers space and support to many not-for-profits community group. The location also hosts monthly community cafes. I so move.
Moved by Council Myra White, seconded. Second by Councilor Tom O'Brien. Question?
Are there other programs? I did look on, online for other programs that we have. I know the, Light and Power has the pay charge, and there are some other government programs out there, and I'm wondering if they had explored that first. Because, the other programs, federal and provincial, have a significant amount of money that they contribute. So I'm wondering if that was examined beforehand.
Well, Take Charge Newfoundland, Newfoundland Power is a website. There's actually a place in there that you can go in and fill out all the information, and they will accept it and review it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when they say yes and no, but everything is there if they want
Yes,
to
it
go
is.
ahead and at least get some information on it.
Yeah, so do we have that, we would have to check that with,
We could just check that first, because those programs have a lot more money,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
and,
But they do help besides
Yes.
personal homes, right?
So two things that,
Maybe
very,
we could defer.
maybe we should consider deferring it. It is a big ask.
yeah,
And should there be a program, I do know, the federal government has a program that allows a transition from fossil burning to green, where it's heat pumps or
Yes.
electric.
Yeah.
And like, we just got approval for Y as part
Yes.
of that, you know? So maybe we should determine if they have looked at those programs.
I would imagine they have, but I don't know. I think we'd have to go back.
Yeah.
You can't remember, can you?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The other question,
Yeah.
Councilor Hines, you may know this better than me, but I do know with the Red Cross, we have certain community centers in our town that's designated as community
Yes.
warming shelters for state of emergency. So the Legion, the Lions Club,
that's the only two that I'm aware of.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like to me, if this was one that was identified by the Red Cross too as a emergency and there was no other funding available. So I think let's just go back and get a little bit
Get
more
more information. Yeah,
and get it deferred to our next finance meeting.
yeah, I think that would be great.
So I would ask,
Like,
so motion to defer item 3.5.
Yes.
Moved by
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Susan Dodd.
Yeah.
Second, Councilor Maurice Hines, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry.
That was the last item.
Before, Mr. Mayor, if I may, as you know, there may be no comments on the ones that voted no, so I just want to make a general comment at the end instead of rehashing every time. And the reason I voted no on specific items, and it's my belief, I don't think we should play a role as a funding community for different organizations in town. It's just my belief. I think our tax dollars has been spent. Not saying that the organizations are not good; they're all good organizations, but we got limited dollars and we got a significant amount of work to do in the town, and I think that's where we should be earmarking our funds. So I just want to make a general comment on that.
Now, maybe just to add to that, we're about ready to go into our budget deliberations for 2025. How we rolled out our communication and our allocation of community grants. We do have stringent guidelines that are set, Candace, for intake. And it's vetted through management, then it comes to council for final decision. But maybe it's something that we can table in discussions during our finance meetings. So a good point.
I think we go to the budget, as Councillor Roberts was saying, we'll go back and maybe look at part of that application that it goes through. And maybe a little bit more information, so by the time it gets to us, that we would have understood that they've exhausted maybe all the other applications and the other things that happen.
Because sometimes they may not know.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, and just when we get to that discussion, of course, I will respectfully disagree with most of it. I think we've got a very tight community program here that we've put a lot of work into to ensure that all those T's, that's why I'd be surprised if this question about the church annex hadn't been asked already
Yeah,
with that group. So it's more about educating ourselves, I guess, but that's a section of our budget that's around community growth, development and wellness. And I think that's equally as important as paving potholes. That's my perspective. But anyway.
Good debate, good discussion.
good discussion.
So I don't know, we have nothing late for finance. Okay, so I'm going to now turn it over to.
Did we
Did we vote on that?
Yes.
vote on that motion?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
Councilor Lori for Development Committee.
thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Just a little update for the warming shelters.
Yeah.
The Legion was designated, the Armory was designated, the college certainly was, the Lions Club was, and Wheelback Ski.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
That one.
So is that five?
Is it LA Bone at the college or the main building?
both.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Some of those buildings, at the time that we done it, we even put in the electrical in the building. So that if something happened, you just, instead of rushing around in, again, your head cut off, you just roll the big generator up to the building and you can tie right into the building. All the mechanics to that, there, so
And I just,
hopefully, we spent that money and we'll never have to use it.
yes,
That's right.
and I guess that will be tied in our emergency plan. I do know our retired fire chief, Candace, was supposed to be on updating our town's emergency disaster plan. I'm not sure if that got completed during this short term here, but if not, it's something that has to be updated, actioned, tested, validated. Because let me tell you one thing, when an emergency happens, and you know all about it, Councilor O'Brien, the flood time.
Flood.
Yeah, when an emergency happens,
Mr. Mayor, that emergency plan, I think should be looked at as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because all the organizations, I've developed some emergency plans before,
yes,
and every year, people change positions and so on, and your calling numbers are no longer there. And the other important part is lots of times, an organization, let's say like the Ground Search and Rescue, is earmarked by about 3 or 4 different organizations at the same time. So we need to see how they're interconnected and who's doing what. And at least even maybe a tabletop exercise to see what we actually have out there. It's nice in theory to say we have all of these things and buses and ambulances, but it's really nice to sit down and know that they're actually there when we need them.
so I do know that.
Progress is being made on
Is there?
that, and there has been discussions with the fire department, and they're making moves to that.
And I do know as part of our generic exercise, that the airport is planning in November, late November. It's gonna be an on-site simulated, on-site or off-site air crash.
Right.
And that will actually bring all of our emergency responders into play, from the hospital to your ambulance, to ground search and rescue, to the town. So that's something that when that gets completed, that's part of our formulated entry into our emergency plan. And then it shows where there's any gaps. When you do these exercises, was there a gap or was there a problem? And that's where management will hopefully get it fixed, right? So,
The emergency plan, and once it's updated, I mean, first of all, it shouldn't have got behind. Because it's all in the word emergency. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we used to review the emergency plan every 3 months. A lot of times there was no change. But the only thing is, all representatives of all the different groups that are identified within the emergency plan would get together. Okay, are things the way they were 3 months ago? Has it changed? Has somebody changed? Has the department changed? Just kind of a quick review.
Yeah.
You know, and other times, I mean, there was, okay, we gotta do a little bit more work on this. But we used to do it on a regular 3 month notice, and it was a very simple exercise once it was updated.
Yeah.
And people found it easier to do every 3 months rather than let it go a year or two. But that changes. People retiring, like Councillor Hines said.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that should be a benchmark, really.
And you know, even bringing the people together, if it happened the next day, now someone says, okay, I know who you are, you're the staff sergeant of the RCMP.
That's a big part to it.
Oh, yeah, everything counts.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
okay, so I'll turn it over to Councillor Lori Elwood for planning and development.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Planning and Development. We had a committee meeting on November 5th, and the following items were recommended for council approval. The first item is approval to issue request for proposal. Be it resolved to issue request for proposal for sale or lease of 88.62 acres of land located on Carolina Avenue. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Lori Elwood, second. Second Councillor, Croker. The mayor, Susan. Say. All in favor?
Aye. Item number 2, approval to issue request for proposal. Be it resolved to issue a request for proposal for sale or lease of 921 acres of land within Port Harmon Industrial Area and Indian Head Mountain Range. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Lori Elbert, second by
Second.
Councilor Myra White, all in favor?
Aye.
Karen, just one note, I'll just pass this over to, maybe a question from Matt. But maybe it's more of a question from, our GIS guy. But, there's an acre and then there's an English acre. I think the English acre is 210 by 210 and standard acre is 200 by 200 square feet, 40,000 square feet. But when we do, not that we're old school, I am old school, you're probably more young school. But when we do, acreage amounts, what are in these acres, could we also have slash the hectare?
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, because a lot of people are in the hectares more than acres. I'm not on. But just a thought, you know, because it might resonate with some people of knowledge on the size.
If you could use with a few chains.
Yes, they changed that. Now we're really going back, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the bylaws and regulations and the policies.
Sure, you want to handle that?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Number one is the protective intervention disclosure policy, and be it resolved to approve protective intervention disclosure policy for the town of Stephenville employees. I so move.
Moved by, Councilor Lori Elbert, second by
Second.
Councilor Gamble. I'm wondering, Ms. Simon, would you be able to just give an overview of what this policy kind of entails, just kind of the Coles, no?
Well, I'm gonna ask Mike to,
Okay, yeah, let's.
Manager of Economic Development, because Mike developed those policies and he can speak best to that, if you don't mind.
Read it.
So it's essentially what the responsibilities of town employees are when they're at town sponsored event. With regard to if they were to suspect that a child or a vulnerable adult might be abused, what their response should be and how they go about reporting it. It's very slightly different for children and vulnerable adults, so it just lays out exactly what's to be done to keep everybody right, and it's a legal obligation.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. We're gonna just suspend council just for a moment while Deputy Mayor and our CEO stepped out.
Okay.
So you want to get up and stretch, Councilor Roberts, you know, at your age sometimes is a good thing, eh?
I'm younger than you.
Not 20, or you're not well dressed, you're old.
Yeah, really, I'm not well dressed, I'm old, I'm working hard targeted.
You're hungry.
Maurice and I are a lot older than you, and we can still keep up.
He's hungry. Oh, my. Yeah. Bernadette don't feed you?
Lovely sandwiches the other day.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, we play for it, yeah. Let's just make lunches.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Or the-
Yeah.
Sorry.
What is it?
Wait, no, tomorrow's the 15th.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow's,
No, Friday, yes, it's Friday.
yeah, but tomorrow's the 9th.
Next Friday. Next Friday.
Next Friday,
Friday's the 15th.
Friday, next Friday.
6th of January.
What would happen?
That's really, you know, right?
I don't know.
We'll,
No idea.
we'll see now in a minute,
Next Dr. Schwartz's.
if you're lucky.
Yeah, whatever the day or meeting anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a good time.
And we turned it up with like, bump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
What was that?
Okay, so the policy needs to come to a vote?
Yeah, okay.
So, all in favor? Carry.
And the next item, the last item, if there's no late ones, admission fees for personal care. Resolved to approve admission fees for personal care attendance policy.
Okay, moved by Councilor Laura Elwood, second Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. Could we get a redirect to, Mike Ratter just for an explanation on this policy also?
The people that with disabilities require assistance in order to attend a town event, then they can register people with the town as a care attendant, and once that's done, then the care attendant will be able to attend for free. Right now, we don't charge for our events, but this is part of the accessibility plan,
Okay.
and it's kind of future proof enough. And actually, the previous policy is also listed in the accessibility plan.
That sounds great.
Yes,
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Carry.
and that's it.
Just on that, point now that has been carried though, is the key point in this particular piece, which is around people who, require support and have someone who provides that care to them. The key point here is to register with the town. So you can't just show up at an event with someone with you and say, this is my caregiver. You need to connect with the town first so that we have that on our file. And, that just keeps us all on the same page and so just want to point that out.
Hopefully it stalls off a confusion at the gate.
Right,
Yes.
that's right. Yeah,
And it's not required right now, we don't charge now, but.
Right.
If we start doing concerts, I think they can.
yes, down the road. And hopefully it might even provide a little bit of leadership to other organizations and groups within the town who may look to that as an idea that they might support as well.
Yeah, the policy states that we'll encourage.
Yeah,
Others who use our facilities to will encourage them.
right. Okay, great.
Okay. Item number 9, any unfinished business? Okay, item number 10, any new business?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to bring up a couple of things.
Okay, so
Up on the 460. In relation to the high school, the Department of Transportation had the flashing speed sign. There, which worked very well, because you can see brake lights come on, brake lights come on, brake lights come on. But and it was a great safety feature, I mean, for the students going to high school. But for some reason, they've taken it out.
it's taken.
Taken out, yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. I think we should check with the department and see why it was taken out and see if we can't get it put back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
And there's a lot of turning traffic, a lot of pedestrian. high school students.
There's a lot of traffic there at opening and closing time, right?
So we could have management reach out to work services and find out why.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah,
The other issue is something that drives me absolutely bonkers some days, is the cell service in town.
Yes,
And it appears to be getting worse.
it does.
Okay, like down in my neighborhood, up until a year ago, we never had an issue. Now you mean it's spotty at best, and it seems like those areas are expanding.
There are dead spots along Kippens Road.
oh, yours really bad, yeah.
Oh, Kippens are.
Of course.
Plus.
yeah.
Can we invite the management level? I'm not trying to insult any management level within the Bell organization, I mean, but we're going to have a meeting, we should try to have a fruitful meeting. Can we invite the management level that would make the decisions on what level of service a particular area gets, just to highlight the issue?
Yeah, and just, I noticed on the news a few weeks ago that the town of Grand Falls, Windsor had done exactly that and had met with some of the Bell people. And as a result of that, I think, not sure what they were going to do, if they were going to upgrade towers or add towers, something, but they did get some commitment from them. So even if we could reach out to Grand Falls, Windsor and ask them who they met with or something like that might be helpful, or, right? Yeah. And I meant to bring that up too. I think it's definitely getting worse.
That success in Grand Falls, like you say, that's a good place for us to start, I think.
Yeah.
You mean, when I get my cell phone bill and I look at it, I said, okay, I got my bill, where's my service?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
Let me tell you one thing. If you were to take costs on Stevensville residents are paying for cell phone service, you're talking a big price tag.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of money going to these companies and it is spotty service. So let's get some senior
Yeah.
management in the room, or at the very least, if they're, I don't care what we can always zoom them in, maybe our next round of meetings.
So we could check kids and everything too.
Yeah,
Don't call them on the cell phone.
No, won't do that. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if Tommy, Councillor O'Brien, are you finished with your?
Please, yep.
Okay, thanks.
sounds fair.
Two good points. I was pleased to see that Premier Fury finally told his officials, no, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna double people up in the new long-term care center. The worst possible thing you could ever do. That to me, was a bad decision. So thank God now it's reversed. Now, we all know that that new hospital costs a bunch of money. It's in the billions now, it's not millions. And we all know what it's like. It's a beautiful facility, but there's not enough beds to take care of the people that are going there to be admitted. So, and now they're looking for an alternative place to put the people that are waiting to get into long-term care centers that they were gonna double up. So, as far as I'm concerned, the old hospital now might need work, probably, but there's people working there. There's a lot of offices there, the laundry's there, there's all kinds of other things there. So why not let these people use up some of these beds? But, and not only that, while we're on long-term care, do you know that, as far as I know, the Bay St. George Long-Term Care Center has not had an upgrade in years and years, but other areas have. So I'm calling on the Minister of Health now and the Premier to look into the situation of the long-term care center here in Stephenville Crossing, because the bathrooms are not even wheelchair accessible. And I know, because I got an aunt up there and a friend. And it's about time that something was done with that building, along with the fact that the 2020 budget said there was money allocated for the assessment or evaluation or whatever they were going to do to have a long-term care center in Stephenville. So I want to see that long-term care center in Stephenville, and I want to see the upgrades of the long-term care center in Stephenville Crossing. So that's the call I'm putting out today. And the other call is all the women out there expecting babies and all the women seniors out there that got to wait 2 years to see a gynecologist. I want some of them to call me, because I want to have a meeting with these women to see what we're going to do about getting back our services, our obstetrical services, because we have more births than Western, for that matter. We're no different than Gander and Grand Falls. As a matter of fact, we have more births over here than Gander and Grand Falls. So that's what I'm asking.
Before you ask birth, and birth rates.
Yeah,
Catchment area, we have more birth rates than between Steveville and Cornerbrook in our catchment area than Gander and Grand Falls.
and why should young people, and happen to my family, why should young people be in a storm in February month on the road with someone that's going to have baby on the highway? And they're telling them here at the hospital, oh, well, you got to go to Cornerbrook. So anyway, this is a big thing with me now. I mean, it's about time. It's about time somebody did something. And I'm calling on the women especially, because they're the ones that got to wait for all these services.
And we do have the statistics now. of
Yeah.
The babies and stuff. So certainly the time, I think that it's time for us to become a little more proactive and vocal.
And not only that, Counselor,
As a community, not just.
yes, as a community, Deputy Mayor Fowle, but not only that, the point is that, we have this beautiful hospital here. We have a respiratory therapy here and all that stuff. We've got the CT scans, we've got the mammogram machine, we got everything here. But, and I think that, I know that Western Health has talked to a doctor from Stephenville who's ready to come here next year. So I know they've talked to her, but she's not had much satisfaction from Western Health officials, especially because, you know, you got these chiefs of discipline, chief of obstetrician gynecology, chief of surgery, chief of anesthesiology, and they're the people that make the decisions. So the decision on our anesthesiologist wasn't a very good one when they accepted his resignation. I think they should, Mr. Mayor, I think they should be offering these people big bonuses to come here because they offer it to, if they go to Western, they offer it to Western.
Why should we ask management over the next couple of weeks, try to time it when we have our finance and planning meeting to have the Minister of Health and the Deputy Minister zoom in. And maybe we'll take on 2 items with them. One would be the reinstatement and planning. Because even though it's Western Health Region, it starts with health services and out.
Yes, yes.
Because it's budget allocation, it's recruitment, you know, everything that is gonna require. But let's get that ball in mode. Now that we got the statistics.
And not only that, I forgot to mention, the funding is still there for obstetrics at the hospital.
Yes.
We don't have to go looking for new funding because the funding is there.
The other thing, remember, our hospital was designed with obstetrics. It has an
Yes.
obstetric suite.
Yeah,
The second critical one is let's get an update. If they had the money allocated in the budget for engineering, design, and development of a new long-term care facility for Steamboat, let's get a status update, a briefing note from the deputy minister as to how much work is completed. Has it been assigned to an engineering firm? Is there any desktops we can look at? Let's ask some questions.
absolutely. Yes. As sooner the better, sooner the better.
And the other thing is, could we, well, I mean, many of us that have had experience with anything that becomes kind of institutional, that's no insult to anybody who works in any of these places, but is there an opportunity to pilot or to look at a new model of long-term care starting here?
And you know, there's situations out there. I know of a situation right now. There's a couple or more now I know about. Single parents that worked at the home and now they went on to further their education and doing the practical nurse LPN course, licensed practical nurse, and can't get any funding to help her out.
Yeah.
None.
Interesting, Laura, you may remember. You remember Dr. Jabbar?
Yeah, Jab Artemis too.
Was he an internist like a long time ago? Was there
No,
an
no,
internist?
Dr. Hyatt was here. Was the last one that left us.
Because it just so happened I was at the Econex conference and I ran into Mr. John Devas, who's the international developer, global developer for Mitsubishi, who was in Stephenville. He's been here twice. And he said, you know what, it's a small world. His neighbor was an internist here like 30 years ago. It's in Oakville, Ontario. They lived together and they're friends.
Oh, okay.
They were here for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Mhm.
And just so happened, we talked and he said, I've been to Stephenville twice.
Oh,
I said, I worked in Stephenville as an internist, but I thought he had said a Jabbar, Jaabar.
no, they weren't. There was 2 of them. But
Before our time.
but
Yeah.
before you go, yeah, Dr. Hyatt was here. Gosh, he was here about 13 years. But the other thing I wanted to mention is we've lost a long time Monsignor priest
Yes.
in our church. This past week, the service was yesterday. Monsignor Edwin Gale,
Yes.
well, from the Cadre Valley, and very quiet man, and he served us well over the years, with other parishes as well. So just give condolences to his family. And
Absolutely.
Can I expand on that? We also lost Reverend Hubert Coombs,
Who?
former teacher, And,
Yeah.
and minister
Really?
just passed away at
Did he?
99.
Yeah, well,
So we'll
Yeah.
extend their condolences.
very, very involved in the community too.
They were.
A gentleman.
Yeah, they were very involved and his wife worked at the hospital and she was very involved there too. Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting, Monsignor Gale was, the bishop was up for the service and, Father Maurice Hines was there. And actually, Father Hines and Monsignor Gale were both born in Searston in the Cadre Valley.
Yeah, I think you mean father of Quinn, Maurice and Quinn.
Saying, yes.
Bless you, my son.
Oh, no.
I got one. Yeah. you don't
Okay,
mind?
go ahead.
Well, it's just, I know it's, hunting season started and we had this issue last year. We ended up cleaning up all the carcasses up on, the old dump road. People are dumping there again. Is illegal.
Yeah.
And it creates an eyesore and also smell because there's a lot of people do walk and hike up that area and it's starting to become a problem again. So I encourage people, think twice before you do that. And it's legal and we might have to do some type of enforcement.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, here's the ironic thing. I'm a hunter.
Mm.
I know all about it. And most people take their animal out with the skin on because it's keeps the meat clean rather than skinning it and putting your cheesecloth on, stuff like that. 90%, Maurice, eh?
Yeah.
90%. But you're not allowed to put it in the garbage. They won't take it. So like, what are you supposed to do with it? Most people don't eat it. So what are you supposed to do with it?
But you're not supposed to throw it inside the road.
No, but what do? Do you?
Yeah, I do.
You like keeping your driveway till the maggots eat it all and decays and just decomposes into the topsoil?
And you can't even bring it up to the,
You can't bring it to the, like,
so,
it seems like there's,
It seems like it should go back into the earth somewhere, but maybe not, like.
maybe
I don't know
somebody should
where,
talk to Department of
But
Fire.
not
or
on the
something.
side of the road.
That's right.
but it's like, I'm just baffled how you can't take that and send that to the landfill.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Can you burn it?
I do.
Well, you might be able to, but.
Yes.
Everyone starts burning it.
Yeah,
No, that'd be bad too. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty good smell.
yeah.
Oh, no.
but anyway, it is affecting where people are walking and everything else. It's not good.
Maybe we can, because it is a walking trail and, a lot of
Yeah.
people walk it. Maybe we can send Public Works up and we can collect it and dig a hole and bury it.
That's what we done the last spring.
Was that? Okay.
But
That's
the
what
other
we did.
thing.
But
is
we shouldn't
maybe
be doing,
Shouldn't have to do that. No, no.
But the other thing is maybe somebody in, management or whatever can connect with
Environment.
appropriate department
Yeah.
and ask so that we can educate people. There might be a process that we
But
can
Tom,
use.
what do you do with yours?
Okay, what I do is I take my skins and I take them up into the forest.
Right.
And I let the
Yeah.
animals,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
the crows and,
Yeah.
that's just,
And that's what most
most people.
Most-
what's the
people
difference
do.
is you're saying people are bringing it up, and just dumping it on the side of.
So,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, yeah, just throwing it outside the road.
Yeah, that's.
Actually, Councilor O'Brien went up and took pictures for me last spring.
Yeah,
Or that was happening again now.
Smelling that is not good.
yeah, and that's the, like, if you can drive in there with it in your vehicle and make the effort to dump it out, bring it into the woods deeper, where it's responsible like this,
Well,
yeah.
maybe we'll
We're doing inquiry.
let management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that we would be
No.
taking
No.
on. I think it would be the responsibility of the hunters to do
Yeah.
the responsible thing,
Would be.
bring it deep into the woods and.
Yeah.
dump it off there.
It's two areas.
No,
It's
but-
last spring, Ziegler Road and the dump road. And that's the two common areas
Yeah.
that are being dumped.
Yeah,
So let's please people out there, let's
Be diligent.
be diligent and respectful and do the proper disposal
Well,
of,
you know-
of
Say one
the skins.
to Council Roberts. Somebody had dumped their skins on one of my road networks on my property where I cut my firewood. I wasn't very happy with that because every time I drive on to cut my wood, I'd be
Terrible
smelling,
smell.
you know, yeah.
So now you can imagine the people walking up and down that road and skiing in the winter and everything else. But they gotta go through.
But to that, we're also inviting unwelcomed guests into our town, you know, with those rodents that we don't like to
Coyotes.
see.
It also brings
On
the
our
animals
properties.
out closer to the road,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
Okay.
Tom, I
Not a
wanted
great topic to be
to,
talking about, but sometimes we have to do it.
I wanted to say something about the long-term care facility in Stephenville Crossing. That facility is built, is really, to me, sea level. And there's not much space there now from the facility actually out to the ocean that's there other than the road. It's very close if we should ever have anything, big storms or whatever coming our way. And there's not much space. So to me, we should make sure that the government puts in a long-term care facility as soon as they can, because they're going to need to have in an event that something should happen there, because that road is always being taken,
Okay.
right?
Right, I'll add to that, several years ago, the Geomatics group out of, Corner Brook, did a simulated flood, okay, in the Steamboat Crossing area, and that was the first place that was flooded.
That was flooded.
they've had floods before.
So we really need to push that on.
So anyways, let's get an update from the health department.
When you look at that, just to build on what Myers said, she's 100% correct with step with sea level. Because we can drive right around the whole crossing. Couple of occasions when I was on the board and we were having big weather events, I went up and parked down behind the home and took videos. Which showed where the home stood, and you could clearly see that the waves were higher than the home.
Nice video.
Yeah, and if you look at the layout, like the home would never be built in that particular spot this day and age.
No,
Because looking in from the road,
yeah.
you could tell the home is down in the bowl. So it's going to fill up with the bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Just two quick things I've got. I did attend the Eco Next conference on behalf of the council, was well attended. It was really nice to be there sitting as your mayor and representing our town. That, when the premier took the podium, he mentioned, with the hydrogen play, he mentioned Stephenville and the German chancellor and signing of the Green Energy Accord. But also in Triple Point spoke about the unique geological feature. They spoke of its adjacency to Stephenville. So being there, when you're here in Stephenville on these global projects, it just makes you feel good, you know, and things are coming.
Yeah.
The other thing, while I was there, I spoke to the mayor of Marystown, Mr. Keating. And last year, when Candace and I were at the M&L in Gander, we sat down and had a little meeting with the four mayors of the hydrogen towns that's proposed. That would be Marystown, Argentia, Bishop Falls, and Stephenville. That they had an extra $160,000 allocated, and we would get each 40. So apparently, I've been informed, we have $40,000 sitting. And we'll have to check, is it in municipal affairs coming to us? And it was designed, I think, Candace, if I can clear, that it would go into our engineering department. So it would assist with planning and engineering of our town as we grow from these hydrogen projects. So, and the last thing I want to say, it's nice to see Mr. Billy Hines here today. Mr. Hines, you've done some tremendous work with the sports and recognition of athletes that did some amazing things. Some of them are no longer with us, but some of them are still with us, and we're building new athletes that I'm sure are gonna have great moments in their lifetime. But the recognition that you've done for those athletes in the Stephenville Port Bay St. George region is to be commended on your effort. And, you know, I guess they say, you know, the rock don't fall too far from the tree, but you've got a big history in baseball and hockey, and so we're to be commended for the work you're doing and the impact that it has on the families that are so proud of what you're doing. So I want to thank you for that.
Thanks so much.
I'll second that.
So on that note, I'm looking for a buddy of mine now to move that we were.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Hopperine, second by Councilor Myers. All in favor? Aye, carry.
Can we have council stay for
Sure.
one second? And when